If you played this build of Scareclaw, I guarantee you hit diamond in no time because this deck does just about everything.
Wait, really?
And can beat just about anything. Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. So in the last video, I did a gameplay reveal of Scareclaw in Master Duel. It was a really exciting one and we got to see the animation for Tryhard. Yes, alright, it's got an animation. It's got an animation. That's sick. That's actually sick. But now you guys have requested it. So here is the deck profile for Scareclaw. This is such a fun way of, fixing the issues we had with Scareclaw from TCG to Master Duel. And I like to think I've figured it out. Everything works with everything. And for that reason, I think you'll always have a consistent hand and you're always able to do something. And that's why it's going to be the best deck to climb with to the diamond rank. So the reason why we play this card is because we have so many spells and traps in our deck, and sometimes after resolve these spells in our turn 1 combo, we just get rid of them to draw 2. Now we do play hand traps like the Ash Blossom, the Maxi, the Infinite Permanence, and the Small World arguably, so it makes sense to run this kind of cards. If your Magician Souls draws the Small World, that means you've just searched Maxi, which is pretty ridiculous as far as what that card does. That card is very, very infamous for basically winning the game by itself, so being able to search that on top of your negate disruption board is super broken. Because the Illusion of Chaos is not in the game, we're currently using Fog King as our level 6 to highest spellcaster. Now, Fog King is not the worst card in the game though. It's actually pretty decent and it's a great counter to Flunderies. We're playing the 2 Maxis because I didn't want to expand on it too much. We are playing Small World. So think of Small World as like 5 Maxis, which is pretty broken. We're playing the Nemesis flag. So this is our other engine. The Nemesis engine basically shuffles our Water Enchantress back into the main deck, which means you now have 2 Enchantresses in your deck. And then it can also search Arch Nemesis Escartos. You declare a monster type and your opponent can't summon that type. This card can't be destroyed by card effects. It's really broken, guys. All I'm gonna say is if you have this card ready for the Sprite and the Terror Element meta that's coming soon, you're gonna win every game because this card is a absolute floodgate, and why I think this engine makes Scareclaw that tier 1 deck. Running the 3 Ash Blossom as the Maxi tax, that's completely fine. Because Water Rounds is limited, we're running out 1, but like I mentioned before, we have 4 to 5, 6 copies of this card when you think about Foolish Spell and Small World and other stuff. And then we move on to our Scareclaw line. We're running 3 Astra, 3 Balone, and 3 Acro. So the reason why I'm running 3 of each is because of the adventure line. We want to see our Scareclaws as much as possible. Because they're all level 3, you can go into the Cherubini, which sends the Water Enchantress to get you to your adventure line, which is pretty broken. And when you couple that with cards like the Parallel Exceed, it makes for a very, very, I want to say, broken strategy to get into the Tryhard really, really easily. Rykart is an ultra, which is kind of interesting. I really thought this would be a super rare, but it is what it is. I just had to break a lot of cards. Rykart is amazing, can special next to any Scareclaw. That's what all the Scareclaws do, by the way. And the on summon searches a spell or trap. It's great to search the Omni Negate trap, which is just incredible. It doesn't work like Griffin where it negates activations. Because it negates the effect, it can play around branded, lost branded fusion, and a lot of other crazy stuff in the game. It also beats Dark Riddle no more. Next up, we're running the 1 Visa Starfrost. So if you guys want to see a combo video, let me know in the comments down below and I'll be happy to do that. But that is the reason why we're running 1. It's just part of the combo. It can go into Baron de Fleur. And by the way, if you're curious about what I've done with Scareclaw so far, these are all videos that I've gone over the Scareclaw lines, combos, gameplay, everything you need to know. If you're a Master Duel player and you're just discovering this deck and you really want to play it because it's one of the coolest decks out there with a crazy OTK, I highly recommend watching those videos. I'll probably recommend this one the most. And yeah, let's move on. Fog King, as discussed, is your Magician Souls target. It's literally just a bench warmer until Illusion of Chaos is out. And then we run the Griffin, of course, with the adventure line being that Omni Negate. So guys, the reason why we run this is I'm scared of Nibiru, I'm scared of hand traps.
Don't be afraid.
The Scareclaw combo is so efficient. It's a 1-card combo, which means having that Griffin allows us to be protected while we do that crazy combo. Parallel Exceed is incredible in Scareclaw. I actually played some duels with this deck and I was thinking, what am I missing? I've got to craft this Parallel Exceed. Thank God it's an N rarity as the IP Masquerena that is coupled along with your board. Or if you want to think of it like an Appaloosa, because that IP will turn into an Appaloosa on the opponent's turn when you use those 2 Scareclaws that Tryhard summons at the end of the combo. It's pretty broken. Protoss is banned in the TCG, but Escartos isn't. And I can say for sure this card wins games. This card is so easy to summon Scareclaw because the generic combo line actually gives us a Beast Warrior and a Beast in the graveyard, as well as whatever Visa Starfrost is. He's a warrior. Rykart is a warrior. It just makes a lot of sense to play this Nemesis line. Foolish Burial is our 2nd Water Enchantress. Small World is the craziest card of the deck. Can search anything in the deck with anything. If you saw my last video, I'll put up on the screen. You can search Maxi with Small World. You can search Maxi with Small World. Yo, I was able to search Maxi with Small World. It feels illegal. It feels like it should be banned, which is pretty crazy. And then moving on, we've got the double Rat of Aramazes, because the normal Scareclaw monsters don't have effects when they're normal summoned, you really dodge all that, I guess, drawback that Rat of Aramazes has and why the engine is so efficient in the deck. Only running one arrival, which is, you know, arguably very interesting. Being able to protect your Scareclaw links by, I believe it's card effect or bout, is amazing. You know, if you've played against Branded, you've seen how good Branded opening is, and it does the same thing. It's also not once per turn, which means if you have multiple copies, you can spam this on the board. Dracoback is of course your way to dodge and deal with annoying cards in the game. Primitive Planet Racophobia is the first primitive planet that we're going to get in the game. We are going to get more as the Visas lore comes into Master Duel, but this card on activation searches a Scareclaw, searches Visas Starfrost, which is the most important bit, and also does a attack reduction, which really does come into play. I remember I was playing as a Machina player and he couldn't take down my Appaloosa because his monsters were too weak. Being a once per turn popper is so crazy because the deck always goes into defense thanks to Tryhard. We've got the Royal Rare Fateful Adventure, of course, part of the adventure line. And then the two Call by the Grave, because we are respecting hand traps, we're respecting Maxi. The deck is really good with droplets. And in a best of one format where you don't know if you're going first or second, droplets is one of the strongest cards you can play. We need to run this kind of card to basically allow us to play the game. Tri Brigade Airborne Assault. So this is the new tech card that we was running in the TCG after Hulk was banned. Realize this card is a no-brainer, it's a must in the deck. When Tryhard is on the field, you can special summon Griffin Rider from the main deck, which is just broken. And on the opponent's turn, it's live because it's not negated anymore. This card also twos out any of the Scareclaws if you have Lightheart on the field, for example, and just mix and matches some really nice synergy that we need. And lastly, Infinite Permanence as a 2-of, and then Scareclaw Splash. Be that Omni Negate that doesn't negate activations, is really tricky for people to deal with. Beats Darkra no more, just beats a lot of problematic stuff. The only drawback is you have to flip it face up before you're allowed to activate and resolve the negation, so keep that in mind. Moving on to the extra deck, we have Baron de Fleur, of course, we have the Visas Starfrost level 6 tuner, we have the level 4 Rykar, we got Link Spider to turn the token into an effect monster, because Tryhard needs effect monsters as material, keep that in mind. We got Link Karibo, again, being that Link monster that enables Paradox Seed, being a Link monster that Magician's Souls can go into. Once you resolve one, you really don't need to care about the rest of it, because when it goes back to your turn, after you've negated their stuff, you win the game. And the effect to come back from the grave is only once per duel, so that's why we're running it at 2. Cherubini, of course, enables us to send the Water Enchantress to grave, enabling the adventure line if we don't see it. Nightmare Phoenix as some generic back row removal. IP as your combo ender if you have Paradox Seed on the field. You have to run Lock the Dark Charmer. Obviously, Branded is really strong right now in the game, and you're also able to, you know, use it really effectively in the deck. There's a lot of dark targets in here like Lightheart and Rykar. We have a Unicorn as our link free. Go into the Appaloosa or the Avamax with IP Masquerena. And then we got Access Code as our finisher, which is really strong in with Tryhard. Because Link monsters can't exist in defense mode, that means they dodge the defense effect of Tryhard, making it very easy to summon Access and Tryhard and win the game. This card, keep in mind, is not a once per turn. Resolving the first Tryhard will get you your Rykar that you search and special, getting you the Scareclaw arrival. Link those 3 away for another Tryhard, special summon a level 3 Scareclaw, add another level 3 Scareclaw in hand. What you should end up with is a Astra and Acro, and then your arrival specials the Rykar, enabling the OTK. That is I believe a 12,600 damage board, and that's just one of the ways we can use Tryhard to win the game. So guys, that's been the deck profile. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to check out all the other Scareclaw content for learning how to play the deck. But if you want to see a combo video from the Master Duel perspective, let me know in the comments down below. If you also want to see a more in-depth duel commentary, I'd love to do that. I've been climbing the ranks in this game and I've been sweeping people, OTKing the crap out of people. So I think it'd be really fun to share that with you guys. And that being said, make sure to subscribe, like and comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.